Good evening and welcome to the Athletics Memorial Building on the campus of Henry Ford College. It's volleyball time. It's Hawks time. Time for another live stream broadcast contest between the Henry Ford College Hawks and the St. Clair County Community College Skippers, who come in with the record of 4-1. Henry Ford 1-1, and Eric Pate along with Dallas Young. And Dallas, here we are again, but there's a different tenor. There's a different kind of mood because the Hawks were victorious. They earned their first victory under their head coach, Coach Braun, 1-1 on the year, and an opportunity in conference play to get another one.
Yeah, this is a big game for them. I talked to Coach Braun this afternoon before the game, and she's banking on riding on this momentum for the Hawks. They got a big win, and they're looking to come back out high momentum. They're happy, they're smiling, and they're ready to go.
Well, the details are certainly in the data. If you think about Henry Ford and what they're trying to accomplish, you got Madison Sonberg's done a great job with her aggressive play, but Madison Candela, the trio of Madison Candela, Janae Collins, and Lily Grantham all have 7 kills. What does that say to you?
It says to me that those are 3 of the most athletic players on this team, and not only on this team, but in the conference. To lead the conference in a stat like that is unprecedented, and they just have to keep it up.
Well, with St. Clair County Community College, the Skippers, they're 4-1. They have a formidable team with a lot of height. What did Coach Braun have to say about the opponents that they're going to face tonight?
Yeah, they're not scared. The height difference that you can see between St. Clair and Henry Ford. Coach Braun came in and she said we're not going to play scared. We're going to rely on our athleticism. We're going to go get this win tonight, and we're going to play with a lot of heart. And that's what they've been doing through the first 2 games, and we've seen that when they got the win
on Sunday against
Schoolcraft.
That wasn't Schoolcraft.
No,
it was Macomb. Against Macomb.
Sorry.
Hey, at 57, I got an excuse.
Hey.
But that's okay. Sunday was a long time ago for us.
It was. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
But we're ready to go.
That's it. Well, hey, let's have a good broadcast, and we're looking forward to a live streaming. Of course, you can check us out. Go to the Henry Ford College website, and for those who've been joining us from Game 1, welcome back. And it's time for Hawks volleyball right here on your favorite channel. You can check us out on YouTube as well. And St. Clair, the Skippers, will start it off with number 3, Sarah Steen, serving. Henry Ford setting up the defense, and it's out. A quick 1-0 lead for the Skippers.
And I talked to Coach Braun about the serving during pregame. She said that's something they got to work on, so we're going to see if they make some adjustments today.
Okay, let's see what happens here. Henry Ford setting it up. That was Dart. It got it across the net. Camille Brown keeps it active. On the outside, Dar. St. Clair setting up their defense. And that's one of those unforced errors that can hurt you. 2-0 for the Skippers early on.
I'm going to look forward to Henry Ford cleaning this up early. I think they're going to learn from their mistakes. And, it's going to be interesting to see how they go about their business today.
St. Clair has played 5 matches thus far. And in the conference, they're 4-1. They're all conference games.
Another unforced error right there.
3-0. And right now, what do you think, Dallas? Early lead for the Skippers. What do you think Henry Ford needs to do?
Just clean it up a little bit. Just off to a rough start. We haven't seen much of the game yet, but just to clean up a little bit of the unforced errors.
And there's a nice block by Kelsey Harris.
Hey, we've seen that before, right?
That's what you need. That's what you gotta have, and that gets the volleyball back in good hands as Megan Hollis is going to serve it up for the Hawks. 3-1. See what happens on this serve. Another unforced error. That's the 3rd one tonight. 4-1 in favor of the Skippers. Talking a little bit about the Skippers playing all their matches in the conference and they trail Mott, who's only played 2 matches. They've got 5 matches already under their belt as number 17 on the serve.
Well, the Skippers have good defense. That's one of the main things that they work on, and one of the main things that they preach.
And there's Sadar gets it across there, and I think, does that count as a body?
We're gonna get that one. We're gonna get that a body
Okay.
right there.
We won't give her one on that one. 4-2. You heard it first from Dallas. First substitution of the night. Number 11, Madison Candela, checks in. And we've got Alyssa Dar on the serve.
That's hard hit right there.
Well, you hit them where they ain't.
Right.
And that's another point for St. Clair.
Yeah, but I definitely want you to just pay attention to the defense today from St. Clair. I got here a little bit earlier than usual today. They were working on their blocking in their defense, so I know they're gonna want to put an emphasis on that today, stopping the athleticism of Henry Ford. So we're gonna see.
Quinn Peterson serves it up for the Skippers. Henry Ford with nice defense. A dig there. And a point for the Skippers, 6-2. Nice return, nice low return. That's the way you want it. And just out of the reach of the Hawks.
Yep.
6-2, early going, game 1. Lissadar scores another point, makes it 6-3.
Coach Braun talked highly about Alyssa Dar this afternoon when I got to talk to her. She said that she likes her leadership and she likes how she's become one of the better hitters on this Henry Ford Hawks team. So Alyssa Dar, she's coming into a player of her own. It's going to be interesting to follow her all season.
Here's our favorite server, Nima Johnson for the Hawks. But right back at it are the Skippers. Number 16, Devin Gordon scores. And she's going to make it 7-3, and she's going to serve it up for the Skippers. Very aggressive at the net, Dallas.
Yeah, they are. You got to like that. You got to like that kind of style of play early on.
We got a good program at St. Clair, and
very good program.
Head coach Michelle McCullough in her 2nd year.
They're ranked as well.
Good recovery by the Hawks. Nima Johnson, clutch, gets it across the net. St. Clair sets it up, and that's a nice touch for number 15, Maria Bassoni. Bassoni scores the point, makes it 8-3.
It looked like she was going to go for the spike right there, but it ended up switching up in midair, going for the touch. That was a nice heads-up play.
Devin Gordon on the serve. You're right about that, 8-3. Let's see what the Hawks can respond. They're not communicating.
Not at all.
9-3, and that's another one of those mental errors that I think we're up to 4 right now, and you can't have unforced errors, mental errors in a game like this.
And Coach Braun, like she said, she wanted to come out and be aggressive, and they're doing the opposite of that.
10-3. Hawks couldn't convert, couldn't return it. And Devin Gordon, a freshman out of Croswell Lexington High School, back to serve again. Now the unforced errors go against St. Clair. 10-4, Henry Ford gets it back.
Let's see if they can turn it over right here and start something, get on a run.
A run would be really nice, trailing 10-6. Little substitution there into the lineup. Alyssa Sanner for the Hawks. Let's see if she can make something happen. Nice set play from the outside and good block. Was that Collins there at the net?
That was Collins.
Does a great job. Didn't get a chance to check up and see what her health condition was in Sunday's match. Maybe we'll check that out afterwards. But she got off the ground there.
Yeah, like I said, I was here earlier than usual during pregame, and I see her moving around pretty well.
Okay.
So she seems to be, like I said, moving around pretty well. That knee seems to be fine.
11-4.
Keep an eye on that.
Big hit. Nice return by Somberg. And he hit it twice, so it's 12-4. And number 14, Olivia Janovich, back to serve for the Skippers. Henry Ford, nice defense and nice return by Collins. that athleticism around the net, that's what happened against Macomb on Sunday.
Yep.
Janae had some impact on the volleyball match.
And every time she comes into the game, she'll check into the game, and the energy just goes up 10 when she's on the floor. I think that she's, she does a great job of that. I think her teammates respect her a lot, and she comes in and just energy just transfers, or it just shifts.
Madison Candela on the serve. Couldn't convert. 13-5. And Somberg checks back in for Candela. 13-5, the Skippers. And number 11, Miranda Gagno. Collins gets up high, but she's met at the net by number 13, Quinn Peterson. 14-5 Skippers.
We talked about that defense earlier from St. Clair. I said they were going to be at the net all game long, and, in the early going, they're doing that.
Gagno back to serve for the Skippers. A nice low-riding serve where you have to get to the floor to keep it alive, and Nima Johnson couldn't do it. 15-5.
Pretty good effort right there by Nima Johnson.
You like the effort,
yep,
but you got to keep that thing alive. Dive to stay alive from the outside.
There you go.
Alyssa Dar scores a point for the Hawks, and they get it back. 15-6. We need one of those Hawks runs right now. They're using the substitutions right now. Coach Braun brings Kelsey Harris back in the match. Maybe she can make a difference at the net. Collins on the serve. St. Clair setting it up on the outside. They thought they had a point there, and I thought they did too. But Kelsey Harris is right there at the net. Both.
Kelsey Harris is always at the net right there.
She's a beast right there for the Hawks.
She just anticipates the way she's moving right now. She's just moving and reading and reacting, and there you go right there.
Good call. You talked about anticipation, and Alyssa Dar comes through from the left outside hitter position. Great job. 15-7.
The way Kelsey Harris is moving left to right now, she's looking like she's adamant, and she's looking like she's ready to go.
Janae Collins, service error there, 16-7. And back to serve for the Skippers is number 3, Sarah Steen. 16-7 is the score if you're just joining us. Eric Pate, Dallas Young, here at the Athletics Memorial Building. Back to serve, Sarah Steen. Hawks setting it up. And right at the net. Let's see. We're going to give the point to Henry Ford. I think there was a net violation here, so 16-8. And Megan Hollis.
The way Kelsey Harris is getting off the floor right now, you can tell she's been working this offseason. The way her ability, her agility, everything, the whole nine, she's doing it right now.
Megan Hollis on the serve. Into the match, Lily Grantham, number 7.
Way to keep it alive.
Way to fight to keep that alive for the Hawks. Good effort.
The captain, Madison Somberg, moving around.
Is that a body?
Yeah, that's a body.
Who got that body?
That is a body right there.
Who scored that body?
It looked to me as it was Megan Hollis, it looked like.
Hollis gets a body. Is that her first one? 16-9. Hawks, let's see if they can make a rally here, make a run, and get back into this game 1 early action.
That ball comes out her hand hard. Kelsey Harris again. Yes. Just reading and reacting.
Hollis with the set. Kelsey Harris across. The Skippers. And that was a great placement by Quinn Peterson.
And even though that was a mistake right there by Alyssa Dar, I like how she's taking accountability. She immediately, apologizes to her teammate and says, hey, next play. And, that's what they got to do.
So, there's some adjustments to make in the middle because I think that's where the Skippers want to go to get a lot of their points. Number 17, Jolene Gaffney, is back to serve. They're both of these teams setting up their assignments. St. Clair coming from the outside, and that's out. 17-10. The Hawks get the ball back, down 7. Will be a great time to rally.
Inching back a little bit closer.
Number 11, Madison Candela, is back into the match. And number 10, Alyssa Dar, is going to take her rotation to serve.
and look to watch Madison Candela in this game. She had a great game in the last outing, so see if she builds off of that.
And there's another service error. They hurt. And just like that, the Skippers get it back to serve for St. Clair, number 13, Quinn Peterson. A lot of jump serves going on from the outside. That was Lily Grantham, couldn't quite get it across. At 19-10. Henry Ford trying to set it up and go to their strength to the outside.
Good reaction right there.
St. Clair blocked it at the net, comes back
Nice.
across. They're trying to set the outside out. Henry Ford is. And it's going to work.
That's a good sequence right there. A lot of hustle.
Good execution.
Good execution.
1911, Nima Johnson checking in for the Hawks, as well as Janae Collins. Somberg trying to keep her team enthusiastic. Nima Johnson on the serve. 19-11, they're down 8.
Coach Braun said to keep an eye out for Nima Johnson tonight.
That's a point. Yep. 19-12, and her serves, I have to look at her serve percentage. She's been pretty good for the Hawks.
But listen, she is, whatever school is lucky enough to get her, she's going to make a big impact.
That's a point. Well, St. Clair couldn't convert it, couldn't get across the net. 19-13. Nima Johnson trying to be the rally starter with her serves.
She's off to a good start this year, and I expect her to continue it.
Everything starts on that back row with St. Clair. Couldn't quite get it across the net. 20-13. Number 16, Devin Gordon, taking another rotation with the serve. Having some trouble returning the serve, Henry Ford is. Now it's 21-13, St. Clair. Mental mistake there on the serve, service error. Gordon, St. Clair gives it away, turns it over. Hawks get a point, 21-14. Coming into the match for the Hawks is number 10, Alyssa Dar.
So they're down right now and they're chasing. What do you want them to do? How do you think they should come back?
Setting it up for Janae Collins for a big hitter. Henry St. Clair gets a point there, 22-14. Not quite sure what happened there. One of the officials is explaining. I think it may.
Players seem to be confused on the court as well.
Yeah. Okay, now I know that was a situation regarding a substitution. Coach Braun calls a timeout, 22-14. It's a good time to let you know that we're going to be with you again tomorrow night. Tomorrow night,
against Schoolcraft.
The Hawks taking on Schoolcraft.
It's going to be a good game. I know the Hawks are looking to bounce back from a loss against Schoolcraft, so it's going to be interesting to see how they come out with the competitiveness, the heat, and the fire in their eyes. Try to get the win back.
And that match, that our first one ever on the live stream against Madonna last Thursday, seems like an eternity ago.
Yeah.
That did not count in the standings. So as we look at it right now, and of course you can't see this, but St. Clair is second in the conference behind Mott, and little lower down in fifth place is Henry Ford College, 1-1. St. Clair is 4-1 in the conference, as we said, coming on to the live stream tonight. And then Schoolcraft is 1-5. So if you look at records alone, tomorrow night might be an opportunity. I don't want to look ahead, but might be an opportunity, a real good opportunity for Henry Ford to get a dub.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, Schoolcraft, their only win was against Henry Ford. So Henry Ford, if they can learn from, their mistakes and turn it around against Schoolcraft, that's going to be a big win for them, and it's going to boost them up.
There's some situations and some issues going on with this service rotation here and the substitutions. And so that's another responsibility of the officials. And they do a good job of paying attention. As number 1, Alyssa Sander checks in, a freshman out of Garden City High School. And the Skippers leading 22-14 on the serve is number 14, Janovich. And they score a point, inching closer to a victory in game 1, 23-14. And Dallas, what do you think so far?
Just think that Henry Ford Hawks are just up to a slow start, happens. Now, you don't want to look too far ahead, but if they do end up losing this matchup right here, they have to turn it around quickly. If you're Henry Ford, you don't always want to be from behind and having to win, going down a game or 2 games and having to win 2 in a row to get to game 5 to win a series,
Yeah, Quinn Peterson exploited the Henry Ford middle there. It's point game, 24-14. Janae Collins couldn't get it across, and that's it. Game 1 goes to St. Clair.
So if you're Henry Ford, you just have to watch this one. Not a good start. You just have to watch it, forget about it, and get ready for game 2.
Well, St. Clair wins that one 25-14, and if we could kind of recap the match for us, Dallas, tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, what you saw.
Well, I'm going to start with St. Clair. The defense, of course, like I said, they were here early. Working on their defense, working on their blocking, and, the hard work that they put in is showing in game 1. It showed in game 1. For Henry Ford, I think they have to just be aggressive. They came out a little bit flat. They're not as enthusiastic as we're used to seeing them. Even when they get points, they're not, screaming and stomping like they usually do. So I think that if they come out and just play their game, we talked about the height. They don't want to be scared of this height. They have to use their athleticism and their heart to get this win tonight. And I think they have to start with game 2. Like I said, flush game 1, come out in game 2. It's a new game, and just be ready to go.
That's it. And you mentioned a key word. It's a 4-letter word, flat.
Yep.
That's important. Either you can have my coach used to say this in college, either you can be flat or you can have fire. Which one do you want? And
you want fire.
You always want fire. When you come out flat, and you come out flat, especially against a good team. Now, you said St. Clair County Community College is ranked. What are they ranked in the region?
They're ranked. They're ranked in the region. Coach Braun came out and said that this would be a big win. And when I talked about about what her game plan was, she immediately said that this team was ranked. So now she said, hey, but we're not going to back down. Even though they're ranked, they're not going to back down. This is still our home court. We still play our game. We're not scared, and we're not backing down by anybody. We're going to come in and just play our game of volleyball.
Well, the important thing for them now is to win game 2.
Yeah.
You don't want to have your back against the wall down 2-0 against a good team.
Yeah, you don't. And I'm going to be interested in seeing how, they try to change up the St. Clair Community College's defense. We've seen a lot of their players come up and, just block. So we're going to see if they start hitting the ball a little bit harder, try to get it past them. And, it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust in game 2.
I know Sunday against Macomb, Henry Ford was able to use their power game and to score a lot of points and get on runs.
I think they should go back to it. I'm no volleyball expert, but I think that just from seeing it in game 2, maybe switch it up a little bit. So it's going to be interesting. Interesting to see how they adjust. The key word is adjusting here in game 2.
That's another critical point there. Adjustments. That's why you have those 3 minutes in between the games to see what you can do to figure some things out, because St. Clair was able to exploit Henry Ford's middle. And when you're able to do that, you're going to have some success against this team.
Yeah. So, again, keyword adjusting in game 2. Nothing else really matters, just adjust, kind of, come out, go about your business. You're down a game, let's even it up.
Okay. Made a few adjustments, and now they're going to get Somberg into the match, and I want to say that that's number 9, Megan Hollis. Hollis. I've heard it pronounced by the public address announcers as Hollis. I'm going to go with what I said, Hollis, and we'll figure it out. Anyway, we're underway in game number 2. And St. Clair scores the first point.
I think one of the keys also in game 2 would be to see how some of the sophomores lead this offense and lead this team. Sophomores like Madison Somberg, Nima Johnson, Kelsey Harris. You know, when I talked pregame with Coach, she said, "Hey, we're gonna need these ladies to come out and show what they got." So let's lead it.
Jolene Gaffney on the serve, a little bit too far on the return for Henry Ford. It's 2-0, and we've got Jolene Gaffney back to serve again for the Skippers.
A lefty.
Trying to use Grantham from the outside, Henry Ford is. Now they're going to go to Candela. That's how they were able to secure the win on Sunday. See how it works. They're setting it up for Grantham again. And it goes too far. It's 3-0 Skippers. They're getting a lot of mileage and traction out of Gaffney's serves. Good rally, just can't seem to get it to a position to convert. Henry Ford sets it up. There's Kelsey Harris. Good point for her. And good point for the Hawks, 3-1. Going to have Somberg. Somberg is going to serve. Look like a little confusion. Going to get Janae Collins back in for Alyssa Dar.
Now watch the team get energized right here. Janae Collins is back in the game.
I would think that they're using Janae Collins in the back row.
There you go.
And that's a big point for Madison Candela. That's a strength. That's a muscle that we were talking about.
And Coach Braun said she's turned into one of the best hitters on this team. Candela does it again.
And Camille Brown's coming in to serve now for the Hawks. And Janae Collins steps out. And a little confusion there on who should be serving. And it's still Madison Somberg.
Madison Somberg is one of the captains, or not even one of the captains. She is the captain on this team. The respect to her teammates.
That's the strength that we wanted to see in the second game.
Yep.
And so far, we're seeing it from Kelsey Harris. Good, strong, leaping, athletic play.
Yeah, but like I was saying, Madison Somberg, one of the captains on this team. You know, her coach said her teammates respect her, look up to her, and that's why she is the captain. And see, we're gonna look for a big performance out of her in this game.
There's a service error, and the Skippers get it back. Number 13, Quinn Peterson, on the serve for the Skippers. Low lining serve. Henry Ford gets it across, blocked at the net.
Yep.
That was the combination of Madison Candela and that young lady again, Kelsey Harris.
Kelsey Harris. Hey, she's a fan favorite. Let me just say that. A lot of people around here before know who Kelsey Harris is. She's made a name for herself at this school. Very well respected.
Nima Johnson on the serves. 4-all here in game number 2. Goes out of bounds, and St. Clair gets the point. Devin Gordon is back to serve. She prefers to serve from the far right baseline.
Great communication. It looks like the communication is a little bit better in game 2 to start off.
That was too far, and Henry Ford gets the point. They're subbing on the go here. And number 1, Alyssa Sanner is set to serve. And Coach Braun promised he was going to give me a skull session on some of the volleyball strategy, and I can't wait to hear it. That was Allie Foucher on the point. Allie Foucher on the point for the Skippers, 6-5. Skippers are in the blue with the yellow numbers, and Henry Ford in their home whites with the plaid sleeves. Real swanky kind of look.
New uniforms.
Nice. Goes with the nice new floor. There she is,
Hey.
Janae Collins. And I love her enthusiasm. I love what she brings to the match. It's 6-all.
She makes this team go. Like I said, when she's on the floor, she makes this team go. It's turned up it's turned up 10 when she's on the floor, and it helps a lot.
And maybe we'll talk to you a little bit about that a little later on, about the enthusiasm. Number 11, Madison Candela, and the role that it plays. St. Clair gets it across. There's a set. And Dar, St. Clair
Nice
returns
save.
it. Nice dig to the floor by Nima Johnson. Good hustle. St. Clair goes to the back row. Let's see if they can return it, Henry Ford. Nima Johnson. Good job. And Nima Johnson, great hustle. She stayed with the play, Dallas, and that made a difference.
Yep. There's a good timeout right there, but stand with the play and putting your body on the line like this, it goes a long way. And to let you know, hey, I got your back as a teammate, that puts a lot of trust in you, and it ultimately helps you win games.
And I was going to say, I mean, does that bravado that, even if it's contrived or false, how much does that help energize a team?
It helps energize a team a lot because you want a teammate that's going to run through a wall for you, is going to dive on the floor, not afraid to get her knees scraped up or her elbows scraped up. You want a teammate like that to, like I said, to, hey, I have your back. I'm gonna put my body on the line for you. And when you have a teammate like that, it ultimately affects the next player and the next player and the next player. And, hey, when you have a team full of players that want to dive on the floor like Henry Ford, hey, that's a winning team right there.
And Henry Ford has scrapped to take a 7-6 lead, and St. Clair calls a timeout. And let's see if Henry Ford can continue. The way they're going to win this thing, they're not going to – hey, Coach Braun said it herself. They don't have a lot of height. So what they're going to have to do is manufacture some points.
Yep. Hey, but she said, hey, like you said, they don't have a lot of height, but they have a lot of heart. And I think I'll take heart over height all day long.
Good. That's a good point. 7-6. Madison Candela on the serve. Nice block at the net. That was Janae Collins again, getting her hands on the volleyball. Number 15.
That was a hard hit right there.
That's Maria Bassoni. And that makes it 7-all as number 15, Bassoni, will serve it up for St. Clair. Substitution snuck in on me for Henry Ford. I want to say that's Alyssa Sanner at the net. That's that dreaded low riding serve.
Yeah, it's kind of in between play right there. You know, you could try to get it up and hope your teammates can bail you out. It's a tough play.
Okay. Henry Ford setting their defense. Somberg keeps it alive. Over to Sanner. Candela gets it across. St. Clair responds. And Janae Collins set it up really nice.
Hey.
And St. Clair's having a problem with Janae Collins' heavy-handed spikes.
It's not only St. Clair, it's the rest of the conference. She is a problem.
Now, we got to see the rest of the teams in the conference, but so far, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
She's a problem. She's going to be a problem all year long. I have no doubt about it.
And you got Camille Brown back to serve, 8-all for here Henry Ford and St. Clair County Community College. Camille Brown sets it up. Alyssa Sanner. And now Henry Ford has a lead, 9-8.
Yep.
Manufacturing points by creating some mistakes on the St. Clair side. You say you like that heart more than that height. That heart is beating the height thus far. Let's see if they can continue. Henry Ford, nice return.
That was very nice.
That was Sanner, but unfortunately they couldn't keep the rally going, and it's 9-9. And that's Sarah Steen that's going to serve for the Skippers. I used to have the toughest time in any type of picnic or beach volleyball. I could not serve.
These girls like they got it down packed.
Yeah, they got it together. They've probably been playing volleyball for 5+ years or so. And that is in, and that's number 13, Quinn Peterson on the kill. 10-9.
Hey, it has to be more than 5
St.
years. These ladies, you know,
a lot of
putting in their work to get to this collegiate level.
I'm sure.
Yep.
It's a random number, but I'm sure these ladies have been out here for a long time,
Yeah.
putting the effort in to hone their craft.
And you love it. You love it.
Kelsey Harris.
Nice.
She nearly caught one. 10-all.
Not quite, but she almost did.
Shots fired.
Shots fired right there.
So 10-all. And number 9, Megan Hollis, will serve for the Hawks.
If I'm St. Clair and that ball's coming at me like that, I'm just gonna get out the way. I'm not gonna get in the way of it.
Somberg keeps it alive. They set it up for Kelsey Harris. I love the way they're going to Kelsey.
Yeah.
That was Alyssa Dar on the return. They're going to set it up again, this time opposite side for Grantham. She gets it across. St. Clair. They give that point at the net. Great job. Great reaction by the Hawks.
And that's
11-10.
I'll keep saying it. Is, you know, you read and react in this game. That's all you can do. You can move, you read and react, and you know, just hope for your best. That's what the Hawks are doing right now.
11-10, and one of the St. Clair young ladies wants an explanation. And I like that about this sport. The officials are here, and then they pay. The players are asking questions.
Yep. See what this is about.
That's all within the bounds and within the rules. She wants an explanation as to why you called it one way or the other. 11-10 right now for Henry Ford. Game number 2, if you just joined us here on the live stream, it was 25-14. The first game went to St. Clair County Community College. And that's Hollis on the serve. They a reversal there. That's the first one we've seen all year, 10-all.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot this year. That is a booming return by Peterson, but Henry Ford is withstanding it, getting it across. 13.
That's a big play right there by St. Clair for
Quinn Peterson there.
For Alyssa or Sarah Steen to go out there and you know, gently talk to the referee or the official about that call, and you know, they get a point and take the lead. That could be turned out to be huge.
Jolene Gaffney on the serve, and that's an error. And now it's 11-all. Henry Ford has number 2, Madison Somberg, their leader, their captain, on that back line, serving it right down the middle, or a little bit to the left side, rather, of the Skippers' attack. Somberg sets it. Oh, man, that was a left-hand return by Kelsey Harris. There she is at the net again. Henry Ford gets it, sets it up. Good reaction there by Henry Ford.
There you go.
And a smart play. Megan Hollis manufacturing points, keeping drives alive. 12-11 for the Hawks. I love the strategy where the coaches flash a few numbers, a few fingers.
Ooh. That might have been the body right there.
Might have been 12-12. I love it. I love some of the strategy that you see in volleyball that maybe you don't even notice. You're starting to pick up some of the nuances of the game. Number 13, Quinn Peterson back to serve for St. Clair. And that's out. knocked out. 13-12 Hawks.
Looks like Nima Johnson.
Nima Johnson comes back in.
Janae Collins as well.
And this might be the time.
Yeah, that duo.
That's it.
They usually pick up the steam when these two come in.
They were doing that substitution for Brown and Harris, Collins and Johnson for Brown and Harris, and that worked pretty well in the last match on Sunday. Nima Johnson gets it across. Collins, good hustle, good reflexes, good reaction. Hit them where they ain't. That's Lily Grantham, 14-12 Hawks. What do you say about that?
Hey, there's nothing much you can say right there. It's just
nothing you can say. That was exactly where you want to go.
I'm kind of speechless right now. That was very good on the part of Henry Ford.
Okay, well, hey, glad it didn't last long. But, yeah, that was a nice effort by the Hawks. Nima Johnson, nice serve at the net. St. Clair setting up the outside heading, good block. I'm going to give that to Grantham. Start calling her the redhead assassin, 15-12.
For them to be at the net right there and just kind of knowing where that ball is going to go or where that ball is going to fall, that's huge right there for Henry Ford.
You know, Dallas,
two up at the net.
Henry Ford, you're right, and Henry Ford is fighting for every point here, and that's the thing you got to love. 16, that was Devin Gordon with a nice kill there, 15-13. The hustle that Henry Ford is showing, they're showing some hunger. That's a difference from last year.
That's exactly what it is. It's the hunger. They want to beat this ranked team right here. And
Devin Gordon
going to be
good
for him.
Lily Grantham. A little bit too far. And it's 15-14.
Yeah, like you said, that hunger, you see it in their eyes coming in game 2. You didn't quite see it in game 1. Which right now you see it in game 2, and it's paying off. It's a huge difference.
Okay, here we go. Quick return by Megan Hollis. On the outside, that athleticism for Candela. Somberg, nice return. Oh, they're going to say that Hollis came underneath the net. They're going to give that point over to St. Clair.
I like how Janae Kyle just picked up Hollis right there.
15 all.
It's a great teammate. Hard hit.
Wow. That was Quinn Peterson. Make it 16-15. That's a 3-0 run. And we got to see if Henry Ford can stop that. Devin Gordon back here serving for the Skippers. Somberg goes to one knee. They're setting it up. Collins gets it across. Nima Johnson sets it. On the outside, Candela. St. Clair returns it.
Set up.
At the net, Collins. 16 all. So much for the 3-0 run. It's over.
Right. Hey, now let's go on a 3-0 run of ourselves.
And Henry Ford makes some substitutions. Number 1, Alyssa Sanner, who's in for some spot play, serving it up for the Hawks. Somberg, Sanner, over to Candela, but Skippers returned it out of bounds. 17-16 Hawks.
Are you liking this enthusiasm or what?
Oh, man, I mean, I think that the more they get out here to play, the better they're going to be on the floor. But that one thing that can stay the same is just their enthusiasm. You got to love what you do. Sanner on the serve. And that's number 15, Bassoni, coming from the outside. They're going to get some subs in here. St. Clair is number 19, Christiana Hamblin, coming in for the first time tonight. Number 14, Olivia Jovanovic. 17 all, game 2. Eric Pate, Dallas Young with you at the Athletics Memorial Building for Hawks Volleyball. Glad you can be with us. Couldn't get it across. 18-17 St. Clair. And number 14, Olivia Jovanovic, is on the serve. Nima Johnson couldn't get it across, couldn't convert. 19-17 St. Clair in game 2. St. Clair gets it across there. Henry Ford, I thought that was in.
Yeah.
From here, it looked like it was in, but it wasn't. 20-17, Janae Collins doing what she does with the heat. Timeout, Henry Ford.
And,
2017 in game number 2.
Coach Braun just called that timeout, and you see the St. Clair bench just erupt. They know they have Henry Ford on the edge right now. And, St. Clair is going to probably come back out and try to finish this one off. So Henry Ford has to put the brakes on and do their best to stop it.
Critical. You want to get game 2 because you don't want to be set up for a 3-0 situation, and you don't want to give up on yourself. What do they need to do to beat them to 25?
Just pick it up, on a defense, kind of move a little bit faster. I don't want to say they look fatigued, but they kind of look fatigued. You see the difference between St. Clair and Henry Ford right now. St. Clair is just moving. They're everywhere, and they're stopping. And like I said, their defense is the key right now, and this is what's helping them. So I think Henry Ford has to kind of, pick it up on the defensive end, kind of get some stops, and the servers have to do their job as well when they get the ball back.
Great analysis, Dallas. Hard to believe that you 20?
21.
21. Janae Collins with some grit, with some determination and some fire on that one. 20-18. Stuff that we're looking for. Number 10, Alyssa Dar checks in as number 11, Madison Candela, will serve. Well, it seems like you've been doing it. You sure this is your first run at volleyball, announcing volleyball?
This is baseball player first, commentator second. I think you hyping me up a little bit though.
That as we were chatting it up, St. Clair, another mistake. Don't look now. It's 2019 St. Clair. The Hawks have cut it to 1. And you heard the St. Clair girls say, pick it up, pick it up. They're trying to.
And that's the difference, that communication right there. That's the difference.
Trying to get it across. That's a good effort at the net by Janae Collins. This girl works from the outside. Well, that's good point for St. Clair's Maria Bassoni, but you change the speed up. It's like change up fastball.
Yeah.
Change up curveball.
That's a great comparison right there. And St. Clair, I don't want to say they're outplaying them, but hey, St. Clair is doing more than Henry Ford right now.
Bassoni on the serve. Somberg returned it. Nima Johnson dove to the ground and tried to get it, but couldn't convert. 22-19, and you see the velocity, the speed changes in this game.
Yep.
Some of the key points and, as I said earlier, nuances in the sport of volleyball. It went out of bounds. 22-20. Camille Brown back in, and Kelsey Harris rushes from the bench, checking in. So that those substitutions that Coach Braun has used throughout the matches that we've seen.
And Coach Braun does a really good job. And for this to be her first year coaching the Henry Ford team, she's kind of, she knows this team and she knows what they can do. And I'm liking how she's substituting these players and giving them rest as well.
Good hustle by Camille Brown to return it. But, man, Quinn Peterson on the outside. If it's not Peterson, it's been Bassoni. If it hasn't been Bassoni, it's been Jolene Gaffney. Skippers are starting to show their strength, 23-20.
St. Clair tonight are showing why they are ranked.
Number 3, Sarah Steen on the serve. Camille Brown. Center. Kelsey Harris tried to return it. And it's at the net, 23-21. Some more substitutions. Number 9, Megan Hollis, back to serve. See if we can't get a rally from the Hawks. And just as I said that, Megan Hollis, service error, mental error there, 24-21, it's game point. Back to serve, number 17, Jolene Gaffney. Henry Ford still talking, still communicating. Quinn Peterson, Kelsey Harris, hot potato that one. St. Clair going right to that middle. Henry Ford trying to set up and get it to the outside. Henry Ford with a nice rally, both teams.
Uh-oh.
A good hustle by St. Clair
nice.
to get across. Good, smart play by Harris for Henry Ford. That point goes to Henry Ford, 24-22.
Hey, coming down to the wire, right?
Let's see if they can get these last few points.
Going
get
around,
a rally
get these
going.
last few points.
That's it.
It'll be good for them going into game 3 if they can get this win right here. Come back and get this win.
Somberg on the serve. And that's going to be the ball game. 25-22. So game 2 goes to St. Clair County Community College. Well, good effort by Henry Ford, but when you expend that much energy, you want to come away with it. Now they've got to win the next 3 games to win the game.
And you know, we've seen them come from behind and force a game 5. And you usually look back to Madonna. Madonna was a tougher team. And when they were down 2-0 and they were in the trenches, they kind of just looked to their heart. And we say this a lot about this team. Their heart and their hustle. They have to go dig deep and take it one game at a time. One game, 1 point at a time.
Well, Eric Pate, Dallas Young with you here at the Athletics Memorial Building. We are happy to be here, and tell you what, this has been some exciting volleyball. Make sure you check us out. We will be with you, as we said, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Schoolcraft College comes to Dearborn.
It's going to be a great game.
That should be a good matchup. Another opportunity for the Hawks to get better, and maybe get a W. It's a team that beat them already.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we talked about the hunger that they have to come in with. They have to come in just with fire in their eyes. But, we're not going to talk about that game yet. We still got this game to cover right here. And Henry Ford, just, take it one game at a time and be ready to go. That focus has to be sharp coming into the last 3 matches.
What I've noticed tonight, and you tell me what you think about this, I've noticed that St. Clair has been able to exploit Henry Ford's middle. What do you think needs to happen for Henry Ford to get better, in the middle?
I think that they just have to be able to move. The middle is not bad for Henry Ford. They have to just be able to be quicker and get to the ball and get those stops and keep the ball alive, and then set it up for for players like Janae Collins to hit it over the net and find a hole. They look a step slower than St. Clair tonight, and they're paying the price for it.
Yeah, your rotations and your assignments in volleyball, it's similar to what you might see with some linebackers. Hey, if you got a tight end and a running back coming out of the backfield, who's going to get them? Is that strong safety going to come up? Is that free safety going to come up? And one of those linebackers going to trail that tight end? The rotations have to be crisp.
Yeah.
And that's probably something that, as the season goes along, they play more and they play more together. That may get good for Henry Ford.
And it's early in the season. Nobody should be worrying. They have a win under their belt. They're 1-1. Might be a bad game today. Now, if they don't come out and they don't win 3 in a row right now, flush this game. Look forward to tomorrow and go up and get a win tomorrow and come back and be 500 like you were today. It's not bad.
Well, that's the thing.
Not off to a bad start at all.
That's the thing in this COVID environment. You know, the way the schedule's set up, you may play every day. I mean, you know, just think about it. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's a lot for a student athlete in any league, any level. So here we go for game number 3. St. Clair County Community College will serve it off to start game number 3. Sarah Sheen. Henry Ford rallies to get it across. I'll be interested to see how many kills number 13, Quinn Peterson, has. But Henry Ford gets it into the soft middle of St. Clair, and it's 1-0 as Megan Hollis is back to serve.
It's going to be interesting to see how they come out in game 3, how their energy is, how their spirit is. You know, down 2-0, it can be tough, but good teams know how to battle back and they know how to flush games.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this right now. They need to jump out early.
Yeah, they do. They do. Exactly.
Henry Ford in the home white. St. Clair gets the point there. Substitutions into the match. Number 17, Jolene Gaffney. Back to serve for the Skippers. 1-1. Early going, game 3. Kelsey Harris tried to kill that one, but unsuccessful. 2-1. 2-1 St. Clair. Gaffney back to serve for the Skippers. Henry Ford setting it up.
I like what she tried to do there.
What's that?
I said I like what she tried to do there.
3-1, and just didn't work out for him. 3-1. And there's an ace. Makes it 4-1 for the Skippers.
You know, in game 3, when you're down 2-0, you don't want to let a team go on a run. They cannot afford to let St. Clair go on a run, because if they do, hey, you know, the momentum and your spirit becomes down. And you know, people say, hey, you know, that doesn't affect me, but it does. When you're down 2 games and you know you're at a deficit in the third game, that can be tough.
And Kelsey Harris, as you were saying that, Kelsey Harris mistimed their jump. 5-1 Skippers. That's what the doctor ordered right there. A service error, 5-2. Into the contest for the Hawks, number 11, Madison Candela. As Madison Sonberg back to serve. The sophomore captain out of Wall Lake Central. And number 16 makes it quick work.
Usually you see
Madison
Madison Sonberg get to those balls and, you know, keep the ball alive, but today it's not happening.
6-2. Number 13, Quinn Peterson on the serve.
Nice.
That's out. So now it's 6-3 Hawks.
Good job by her
6-3
teammates.
Skippers, and the Hawks will get back into serve.
Good job by her teammates to let her know to let that ball go. Let her know it was out. And it makes Madison Sonberg's job easier.
We've been waiting for Nima Johnson today to get started. So let's see if she can make something happen with her serve. And there's that change up, that velocity, that speed at the net. And that's where the Skippers were able to convert. Make it 7-3 Skippers with number 16. And Devin Gordon on the serve.
And let me tell you, St. Clair is looking every bit of a ranked team right now. Just the way they're carrying themselves and the way that they're, you know, moving around. They look like a ranked team.
8-3. Timeout. Good timeout. Wouldn't you say? Timeout, 8-3.
Yeah. And Mrs. Braun right in the middle of that huddle, letting their team know, hey, we got to get it together.
Well, this is what you call the first third of the match. The next 9 points up to about, say, 16, 17 to be the second third. And in that final third, anything from 18 on.
Yeah.
And so far, St. Clair is up 5. So, you want to. If you're gonna make something happen, it's almost like you got to do it now. You got to be Eminem at the shelter. If you watch 8 Mile, you got to get it done.
No time.
No time. Hey, got to get it done right now. That's it. So let's hope that Henry Ford heard my Eminem analogy, and they're ready to go for it right now and lose themselves to win a game. Get it all in there. 8-3. St. Clair, they're up 2-0 if you're just joining us. 2 games to none. That's out.
Nice job by Sonberg. Being aware.
8-4. And let's see. Coach is going to leave Collins and Johnson on the floor. And that's number 1, Alyssa Sanner, back to serve. Janae Collins making it tough. Hot to handle that serve, but they get it across, St. Clair does. Now the Hawks set it up. Good work by Nima Johnson. Great effort.
Look to Nima Johnson to try to pick it up and have her teammates look to her to be an engine starter.
8-5. Let's see if Henry Ford can fight their way back into this thing. Sanner on the service line there. St. Clair, and they're working for the outside, and that has worked consistently all night for St. Clair. That was number 15, Maria Bassoni.
The old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. St. Clair is living by it right now.
That's it. Number 14, Olivia Jovanovic. That's something the old school guys used to say. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Listen to Dallas.
Spending too much time around my dad.
Your dad's on point. 10-5. Timing a little off for the Hawks right now. Jovanovic on the serve. St. Clair setting it up. Sonberg diving, can't keep it alive. And it's 11-5. Critical juncture right now. You don't want this thing to get away. A couple more points is halfway point for the match. And you can't continue to give them opportunities. Henry Ford setting it up. Janae Collins.
Every time they do give them opportunity, St. Clair is taking advantage of it.
So hit the net there. St. Clair at the net, point for Henry Ford. 11-6. They get the ball back. They make some substitutions. Number 11, Madison Candela, is back there to serve. Number 10, Alyssa Dar, is into the match.
Tough break right there.
I think on that one, just a little bit of a mental lapse.
Yeah.
Couldn't return it. It was right there for you for the taking. And St. Clair gets a point. Bassoni, hot serve, ace. 13-6, halfway done. Game 3, Skippers up 2-0. Bassoni back to serve.
That tough in-betweener right there again.
Wow.
Couldn't get it up.
Bassoni out of Almont High School. She's a sophomore. Pretty sure she's got to be one of the team leaders. She's performed here tonight pretty well. A hopping serve there. Henry Ford sets it up. 15-6.
And to me, it's just like, they're moving slow. I don't know what's going on, but they're just one step slower today.
And 15-6, and now we got to get some of that Hawk heart
they do
right now that you talked about early.
Henry Ford is too good to play like they are right now.
That goes out of bounds. So it's 15-7, and Brown and Harris will replace Collins and Johnson. Let's see if this combination can get it going and keep it going. Down 8. Camille Brown serves it. St. Clair sets it up, gets it across. Henry Ford gets it across. That's a point for the Hawks, 15-8.
We see Collins go over to the trainer. Just keep an eye on her. See if it's the knee again.
Yep.
It is.
Just letting her knee pad down. That's a floor burn. Hawks hustle, get it across. St. Clair trying to respond with some outside hitting. And that's number 13, Quinn Peterson, who's done a good job from that left outside hitter position, 16-8.
And it seems as if every time Henry Ford tries to get back in the game, St. Clair puts it into it and just goes on a run themselves.
Number 3, Sarah Steen on the serve. Way to hustle, Hawks. 16-9. Down 7. Coming up on, like I said, the 17 is like the end of the second quarter of the third game. Number 9, Megan Hollis on the serve. Number 13, Quinn Peterson from that outside position again. I mean, they haven't answered. Henry Ford has not answered that very well.
Not at all.
And so now we're into the last phase, that final phase of game number 3. And you don't want to get shut out. Number 17, Gaffney on the serve. Couldn't get it across, 18-9. St. Clair has boosted the lead back up to 9 again.
You know, they played in a hard-fought game Sunday. They had one day off yesterday. You know, that might have something to do with the way they're moving today.
Nice block at the net. But St. Clair responded. But couldn't return it. 18-10, now the Hawks. See if they can do something with the new life. Number 11, Madison Candela checks in. And I think they want to answer him at the net. As Somberg back to serve for the Hawks. Mistake at the net there. Service error. 19-10. 13. Number 13, Quinn Peterson back to serve.
Quinn Peterson has had a great game.
Yes, she has. Good block at the net. That was number 14, Olivia Jovanovic.
And again, we talked about that blocking. You practice how you play, and they came in. You know, when I walked in, they were already up and at it blocking, and they've shown that today, all game.
20-10. Back to serve is number 13, Quinn Peterson. That's too far. That's a mental error, and that's going to cost St. Clair a point. Henry Ford scores 20-11. See what's going to happen here as they go to the substitution. Nima Johnson, Janae Collins return. Kelsey Harris and Camille Brown go to the bench for the Hawks after a good shift. Setting it up. Hawks get it across. St. Clair trying to respond. And they're hitting that same left outside hitter position. And that's Maria Bassoni lowering the boom, and it's 21-11. Now it's getting into a critical time in the match, Dallas.
Yeah, beyond critical. Beyond critical. They have to go on a great run right here to even sniff a victory.
Okay, number 16, Devin Gordon. Henry Ford gets it over the net. Here comes St. Clair. And they changed the speed up. And I want to say that was Bassoni again, 22-11.
Yeah, and they're good at that. They've been doing that for the majority of the game.
22-11, timeout, Henry Ford. And this is more of a timeout to kind of tell the girls, listen, don't give up, keep fighting. What do you think? What do you think Coach Braun is saying?
Spot on right there. You know, a deficit like this, you know, down 11, hey, you know, just don't fight, you know. Keep working, keep getting after it, and, hey, just keep working.
No.
It's tough right now.
Now, while we have a moment, when's the baseball team going to kick it off? Let everyone know.
Oh, yeah, our first preseason game is March the 6th at Owens Community College. It's going to be a great time out there. If the weather was like it was today, you know, we're ready to go. I'm looking to go to war with my teammates every single day. And Coach Abney and the rest of the coaching staff has done a great job preparing us, especially in a COVID off season like this. It was tough, but we got our work in, and I think we're going to be one of the better teams in the conference. And you know, like I said, I'm looking forward to going to war with my teammates every single day. It's going to be fun.
Where's the game going to be?
Owens Community College in Ohio.
Toledo?
Yep.
Okay, down at Toledo, Ohio, against
Henry Ford. Owens Community College and Henry Ford.
Henry Ford. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll keep talking about it because we want to see the starting center fielder for Henry Ford College. That's you, right?
Nah, starting center fielder is Jacoby. I'm a left fielder.
Left fielder.
All
okay.
field positions. Yep.
St. Clair scores.
Jacoby Dale, pretty good ball player.
St. Clair scores. That's Devin Gordon. You know what I meant, though.
Yeah.
I want to see you.
Oh yeah.
23-11. St. Clair looking to try to close it up, but Henry Ford is going to fight. Keep themselves alive in this match. Now it's match point as Allie Foucher. Was that? Allie Foucher got in the middle of that one. 24-11. Match point. Hawks get it across, trying to set it up. And the thing that killed him finishes the match. That was number 14, Olivia Jovanovic. And the final score, St. Clair County Community College 25, Henry Ford 11. Just going to give you the, that gives the game to St. Clair. They go to 5-1. The Hawks drop to 1-2. Tomorrow night, it's Henry Ford College and Schoolcraft College. And, hey, 25-14, 25-22, 25-11. The Hawks take it on the chin, but good thing about it, we'll be right back here tomorrow night for Dallas Young. It's Eric Pate here at the Athletics Memorial Building saying so long, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 7.